episode of Woodburn's Solving Your China Business Pain Points. My name is Christina Kohler-Coluccia. I'm the head of business advisory at Woodburn Accountants and Advisors. And in today's episode, we're going to be looking at when is outsourcing right for your China company. The saying goes, if you want something done right, do it yourself. It's a well-used business phrase. After all, nobody cares for your business as much as you do. But what happens when things get too much to deal with on your own? The challenge of overseeing a thriving, growing business in China is a really nice problem to have. But you can't be everywhere at once. So how do you get more person power on board? Of course, one obvious route is to hire additional staff. But another option is to look at which parts of the operation you could be doing elsewhere. Outsourcing is growing. Delegating work elsewhere can help clear the decks in your diary, allowing you to concentrate on the things that really matter in the Chinese business. But if it's not done properly or your suppliers fail to deliver, you risk damaging your reputation and your business. So there really are a lot of pros and cons to this. What do we mean by outsourcing? At its most basic, outsourcing comes down to paying another organization to carry out part of the work. In the end, there are really 4 key reasons why you might do it. Save time, expand resources, drive down costs, or to seek expertise that you don't have in your own organization. Now, examining the pros and cons, why would you choose to outsource in China? Let's look at the advantages. 1, cost. You don't have to pay as much. Outsourcing can mean getting the same job done for less. When you compare outsourcing accounting functions versus hiring an accountant, especially in the initial startup phase, you're going to save more by outsourcing than hiring. Because initially, there's not too much to do. There's going to be more that has to get done when you grow and scale. Talent. Access to a bigger pool of talent. Hiring locally can limit your options, especially in China, where that continues to be determined by job hopping and competition. Outsourcing, on the other hand, opens your needs to the world in terms of having that talent. The third is recruitment. Avoiding taking on more employees. I know one thing that I've learned over the last 20 years, I am a much happier manager when I have fewer people on my headcount than when I have more people on my headcount. If you outsource and delegate certain work, you're sending it to an existing organization that's ready to hit the ground running. That means no onboarding, no issues around team fit, no potential scenarios where they might not pass probation period, no benefit packages, and you don't have to deal with HR issues. Point 4 is focus. You can concentrate on what really matters, especially in your startup phase. By outsourcing, you effectively rid yourself of the day-to-day tasks that get in the way of you growing and scaling. It's a way of transferring administrative heavy lifting out of your organization, giving you back more for value-added activities. Specialization, hiring real expertise. Maybe your organization is skilled in some areas, but lacking in others. So it's really important to understand with the team that you have in-house, what are their strengths, what are their weaknesses, and where should you be looking outside to get more expertise, more guidance, and to potentially delegate. It's also looking at where can you delegate the dirty work? Because if you have a small team that you're managing, you might not want them to do certain tedious, mundane, redundant tasks. You might be able to outsource that at a much lower cost as well. So you could embark on a program to bring those weaker areas in-house, or you could simply find an organization that already has those skills, resources, expertise, and know how to do them for you. Number 6 is language and culture. Everything needs to be completed in the Chinese language. And obviously, this can become tricky if you do not read, speak, or write the Chinese language. By outsourcing, you are effectively placing your trust in a reliable partner. We would recommend to work with partners that are bilingual and at a minimum can also speak English coherently, transparently, and with a lot of clarity to you. Now, obviously, with outsourcing, there are disadvantages that we also want to highlight today. All right. There are many arguments against doing this. One, again, is cost. You don't have to pay as much. We've looked at this already, but let's look at the cost again. If your decision is to outsource and it's purely driven by profit margins, it's likely that you need to think very carefully about what you're doing. We're talking about quality. We've talked about how nobody cares about your business as much as you do. That may be true, even for your closest employees. But outsourced staff are further away from the heart of your business, both literally and figuratively, right? They're paid less, but they're also less motivated to do the job. So it's important to find outsourced providers. So there's two options here. One, you use outsourced providers that are going to bring that added value where they want to grow with you, not for you, with you, meaning they've got open communication and dialogue and are very proactive in understanding how to improve your business and make it more efficient day by day. If you're working with providers like that, then every penny that you pay is worth that cost, right? The other option is bringing things in-house, training those people that they, again, are working with you to grow and scale the business. If you're looking at talent, again, we looked at it earlier in the advantages, but let's look at the disadvantages. Access to a bigger pool of talent. More choice isn't always better. If you want the right people, it may be better to spend more time casting into a smaller local pool of expertise than trawling a distant larger one. Outsourcing shouldn't be a solution. There's no substitute for knowing your industry and taking the time to seek the best talent. However, I will say in China, it is time consuming to find that best talent, onboard that best talent, and bring that talent in. So everything has its pros and cons. The other side of recruiting, avoid taking on more employees. You get a picture. There's a flip side to this as well. Training, onboarding, nurturing staff may be more time consuming than simply shipping work elsewhere, right? But if you are looking for devoted, productive, committed people to help your business along, you may not find that in the outsourced realm, okay? If you want to grow and scale and you need to have your right-hand wing persons next to you, then recruiting that talent will be beneficial for you in the long term. Now, what to do? Outsourcing, if you choose to do it, must have real, tangible benefits for your business, but also for your reputation and your standing. First, invest time in the initial stages of outsourcing to make sure the relationships will generate value throughout. Second, while the focus may be to save money, it may also include achieving a strategic advantage and maintaining a good reputation with suppliers. Third, invest in establishing strong processes for the transition and governance with your outsourced parties. Outsourcing has a time and place, and it may well suit your business needs in your startup phase versus in the growth and scaling phase. But it's important when you embark on any partnership that may have a significant impact on your business that you select a partner who understands, respects what you want to achieve. Establish solid rules, expectations before you begin. Then maintain constant communication throughout that relationship and build in contingency and backup plans constantly. Now, if you're struggling to understand whether outsourcing would be a solution for you or whether it makes sense to go in-house, particularly in the administrative corporate services realm, like accounting, tax, payroll, just general admin stuff, reach out to us. That's what we do on a daily basis. We'd be more than happy to help you. We've provided a link to our diary, set up that call, and we'd be happy to speak with you. If you would like to learn more about what we do at Woodburn Accountants and Advisors, head on over to our website, woodburnglobal.com. It has a full list of our services. Maybe there are things there that you could use as an outsourcing solution initially. But we also have a bunch of other resources in terms of short articles, ebooks, industry guidelines as well. And last but not least, if you enjoyed today's video, please press that like button, share it. Our goal and ambition is to help as many business owners, China managers, to remove the struggles and obstacles they're facing on a daily basis in China. We look forward to seeing you at our next episode. Take care and goodbye.